China is one of the most talked about countries in the entire world. So we decided to pack our bags and see it for ourselves. Some of what we experienced was exactly how we imagined it to be, and some of it was like nothing we have ever seen before.
And the first thing that absolutely shocked us was that everything in China is on your phone.
It is honestly crazy. Like every restaurant we went to, even like street carts, you pay for it on your phone. You order DDs, which is like Ubers or cabs on your phone. Like if you don't have a phone, I don't know how you could travel China.
I don't think you could even exist in China at all, because like we used Alipay for everything, the small shops.
Oh, even the metro.
The metro, like everything. We got just a little bit of cash just to put in our wallet, like
just in case.
Just in case at the very start of the trip, and we haven't used it since. Like
Nope.
There's no reason to ever take cash out of your wallet.
Never. There are obviously a lot of countries where you order taxis on your phones or have the metro card on your phone, but like usually there's some cash or credit card options. In China, there really isn't. Like It's crazy.
Yeah, just comparing that to other countries where like we have to pay a lot in cash for most things, and it's just that's not the case here.
Or credit card. Like you don't use your credit card in China. You have your credit card through Alipay or WeChat, and then you pay with your phone.
And speaking of something that you would pay for is the food, right? Well, you were saying something about like the spiciness level of the food.
Yeah, we were like a little bit bummed, although because of your comments, we realized that spice is very regional, and we are in Shanghai, and apparently in Shanghai the food is not very spicy. But like Jacob went to, what area were you in?
It was more northern China, somewhat close to Beijing, and that food was, well, I'm trying to remember it because it happened like 6 years ago, but I remember so many things being spicy there.
Yeah, and we were we were like a little bit sad, but I guess we'll just have to go to Beijing next time to get the really, really spicy
But
food.
now we know from all your comments that, Shanghai is kind of like a blend of a couple different like cultural foods, and so I guess it makes sense that you kind of want it to appeal to a wide variety of people.
Definitely one of the most shocking things that we really haven't experienced in any other country in the entire world is that every time you walk into a metro station, you have to like put your bags through like a whole metal scanner. You have to go through security. I mean, you feel really, really safe when you're in the metro. But it's just, we've never experienced that before.
And I think I've seen every single time there's been 2 security guards there every time. So they want to make sure everything is extremely safe when you're on the public transportation, on these trains. And I guess it makes me feel safe.
A lot of people have commented like, oh, I think we mentioned it in another video, in our Is China Safe video, and they were like, oh, that's so funny. You guys think it's nice because you feel safe. I think it's annoying because when I'm rushing to work, I have to like hurry up and do it. Which I get that. I get that.
I mean, that makes sense. And speaking of our video when we tried to see if China was safe at night, I mean, there hasn't been any point in our travels here in China that has been unsafe, right?
Yeah, we feel really good walking around the streets at night, doing everything at night, just whenever. I'm saying night because usually that's like the sketchiest time of day. But.
Well, and in a big city, Shanghai, you would feel maybe you should protect yourself more, but I don't know, that hasn't ever come up.
And now we are going to talk about the Chinese visa-free 144 hours that we did. We had no idea that you could go to China visa-free. Just show up, go there, give them your passport, and get stamped in. We were so happy when we figured this out.
Yeah, it's a little bit complex at the beginning because you have to research how it's done. You have to do very specific steps.
Yeah.
Basically, I mean, you can find better articles out there than what we're going to tell you in this very brief period. But basically, you need to travel from one country and then go into China and then leave and go to a different country than you first came from.
Because it's a transit visa.
Yeah, you are transiting China, and that's how you're able to go without a visa. And you can go from, I believe there's 50 different countries around the world where you can come in from. And so it's kind of confusing at the beginning, but when you get there, it's actually extremely easy at passport control.
The only thing that is a little bit sad is you have to stay within the region that you enter in. So like we couldn't take the train from Shanghai to Beijing, but that's just another reason to come back to China to see more of it. And I don't know if we'll ever get the courage to send our passports away to get a visa. That feels really scary to me.
But that would give us a lot more time to explore this country.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's just so much to explore in China, and we're really only scratching the surface here in Shanghai.
And we do think that eventually we want to make it back to China at some point. And kind of one of the reasons for that is that everything feels pretty inexpensive. I mean, like when we showed up into Shanghai and we were like, whoa, this is like a major city, so many people, and really
so like advanced in technology. Like,
yeah, we were thinking, okay, this might like cost us a little bit out of our budget, but turns out like a lot of things we're doing at least isn't really like too expensive compared to other countries around the general
or
area.
Like when you think of like big cities, like big fancy cities like Dubai or something, like you think that it's going to be really expensive, or like Paris, I don't know. When you think of these big cities, you think of expensive, but it's really not like that. I mean, we get like 80-cent street food, which is so great.
And then the Didi's, the ride sharing app is just like, you know, it's really like cheaper than some of the other countries we've been to. And then even like the hotel isn't like too bad either.
We've been getting Didi's for like $2 or $3, like 10 to 20 minutes away. Like, it's great.
Pretty nice. Like, that's definitely like a positive of like, well, let's maybe go here again. And
that was like the best thing that shocked us, was how affordable it was. One of the more interesting things that shocked us was, I don't know if we saw any like Western style toilets in public.
I might have seen, I don't know, I think I
saw them in our hotel room, but anywhere in public, you are going to use a squatty potty, which is just a hole in the ground, and they don't often have toilet paper in the bathrooms either.
I mean, I'm just thinking about all the other countries that we've been to. I mean, China's country number 40.
Crazy, 40.
And like all the other countries we've been to, like Western toilets, you just sit on the toilet.
And we've definitely seen some squatty potties around the world. Like I know I used them in like South Korea, maybe one or two in Japan.
But usually you have the option.
Yeah.
You know, there's still a different toilet option that you can choose. But this is like, no, if you need to go in public, well, you're using a squatty.
One of the funnier things that we noticed was, I feel like Americans get the very stereotypical, like, oh, Americans are so loud.
Absolutely. Like, especially in Europe, too, right?
Or even, like, Japan, or, like, a lot of, like, Asian countries, like, we're the loudest ones.
That's, like, what people complain about, is, like, us being tourists. Well, not us, just, like, Americans in general.
But we fit right in China. We actually are probably some of the most quiet people here, which is something that we don't experience a lot. But yeah, Chinese people are very exclamatory. We see people on the streets kind of like yelling at each other, people in their taxis yelling, and just people talking loud.
And that's just how the culture is. And
it's great, we fit in.
It's fun. It's just like, it's different than like if we were to go, like I said, like Europe or something like that. So it's great to just like experience it and just see how people live their normal lives.
And be able to fit in and be able to express ourselves how we normally would when we're in America.
Yeah, so I guess now we just got to go outside and start screaming just for the fun of it. So I guess thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next China video.